Hey guys, it's me Kate again. So this video is my June wrap up. If you hear some noise from outside, there's construction going on the building next to mine for literally a month, and I cannot do it, nothing about it. So let's go. So first thing that I actually finished this month was the audiobook of Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I really enjoyed it, gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and it is your following Violet, who wants to be scribed and decided to be a scribe her entire life. But 6 months prior to the events of the book, her mother made her try for Dragon Rider Academy, and stuff goes from there. Then I listened to Witch King by Martha Bell, and I gave Fourth Wing, if I haven't mentioned, 5 out of 5 stars. I listened to Witch King by Martha Bell, in which we're following a guy who has been killed, and now his soul is trapped and he tries to find out what is happening. Then I listened to Foxglove King by Hannah Witten, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I forgot what it's about. And then I listened to Dragon Academy, Dragon Heart, and Dragon Spirit by A.K. Thorne, in which we're following a girl who has been adopted, and one day while working in a restaurant where she's working, she finds a dragon, and turns out that she comes from a Dragon Rider family, and her parents are dead, and then she was adopted into human world. We're following her as she is going to Dragon Rider Academy to become a full-fledged Dragon Rider. Then I listened to Broken Bones, Savage Bones, Blood Bones, Force Bones, Tragic Bones, and Broken Bones by J.B., which is a whole series in which we are following basically people with supernatural powers who have their blood tested, and then based on their blood they're bonded to a group of people. And so goes from there. We're following one girl who actually right after she found out who her bonds were, ran away, and they finally found her. Then I listened to Gods and Demons and the Dragon's Egg by B.R. Kingsolver, in which we're following basically an elf who has been living in the human world and is trying to and is now helping law enforcement fight magical crimes. Then I reread The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, in which are following these two characters who are basically in a competition, in a magical competition. They are magicians, but they don't know who the other person is, so they're trying just to outdo each other, and their stage is this night circus, which just comes without warning, without advertisement, without anything, and it's only open at night. Then I also reread Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell, the second book in Carry On series, in which are following Simon Song, who is the worst chosen one ever to be chosen. Half of the times his magic is failing, and when he manages to do magic, everything goes wrong. And we're following him when his roommate, who is a star student in their school, doesn't show up for first day of their final year there, and Simon becomes suspicious. Then I listened to Thank you for listening. No, I actually read. No, I listened to Thank You for Listening by Julia Villa. I gave 3 out of 5 stars. In it, we're following 2 people who work, I think, on the radio, and they're having a show for like fake dating, but they hate each other. And I listened to The Secret Library by Janet Skelton Charles, which is about the secret library and it's historical fiction. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read the ebook of Book Lovers by Emily Henry, which is also romance. I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Then we have Flame in the Beast by Renee Ahdieh, which I listened to. It's a fantasy paranormal book. I forgot what it's about. I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I listened to Billy Summers by Stephen King, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Then I listened to The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Thornton, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. And in that one we're following basically a person who has went to this party and where Evelyn Hardcastle was murdered, and then that person wakes up in other person's bodies of the people who were there and is trying to solve that murder. Then I read the ebook of Race to the Sun by Rebecca Runhorse, which is middle grade fantasy. I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Then I listened to The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth, which I gave 1 of 5 stars. I didn't enjoy this thriller about a woman who decides to be a surrogate for her sister. Then I listened to Out of the Blue by Jason June, in which are following normal teenage boy and a merman who is tasked to help a human on the shore, and it's their romance. I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I listened to The Sleep in a Sea of Stars, which I gave by Christopher Paolini, which is a sci-fi, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars too. Then I listened to Shaman's Crossing by Robin Hobb, which is a fantasy book, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Then I listened to 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston, which is about a girl who is set up by her family on blind dates, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read the ebook of Love Theoretical, which I gave by Ellie Hathaway, which is a slam romance, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I listened to The Fate of the Fallen by Cal Cade, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars, which is a fantasy book about the chosen one guy who ends up being murdered, and then his best friend takes his position. Then I read Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard, King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard, and Warstorm by Victoria Aveyard, which are books in Red Queen series, and which are following Mara, who is a red. In this world, Reds do not have magic and Silvers do, and one day Mara finds out that she has magic and gets involved into a political plotline. All of them except for Red Queen were 5 out of 5 stars. Red Queen was 4 out of 5 stars. Then we have Fall of the Argosy by Sebastian de Castell, which is in a prequel series, book in a prequel series to Spellslinger series. They show following Kellen, who is just about to take his mage's trials, and but his magic starts failing, so he decides to cheat. And in prequel series, we are following his Argosy mentor Ferius. And then I reread A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas, which is a novella in A Court of Thorns and Roses series, in which I'm following Feyre, who one day, while hunting for her family, accidentally kills a Fey wolf, who is possessed and comes and takes her away to his court. And then I reread Dnevnik Polilepa and Gorski Dnevnik Polilepa by Sanya Pollack, which are like companion books in which are following Polilepa, who tells us stories about her life in a diary format. And then I have 4 more books to talk about. First we have Shadows of Self by Brand Sanderson, which is second book in second era Mistborn, so second Mistborn series, in which are following basically 2 guys like in the future from several hundred years, I think, in the future since the first era Mistborn, and they're doing stuff. And in this year, so people can burn metals, can ingest metals, and based on the metal they can ingest, they get different powers. And the Mistborns are people who can burn all the metals, and stuff goes from there. Then I reread So This Is Ever After by F.K. Lukens. In it we're following Alec, who was destined to kill the Dark Lord, and he does. And in this one, with his band of friends, and in this one we're following what happens after he does it. Then I read The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I never read this or listened or watched a movie. This was really interesting. About this guy named Jay Gatsby, who is kind of this mysterious rich guy, living on Long Island. I gave it, I think, 3 out of 5 stars, but it was really interesting. And then one book, because I'm filming this and Joe's not yet done, I'm trying to read one more thing by the end of June, and that's Death Note Volume 2 by Tsukumi Obata and Takeshi Ohba and Takeshi Obata, in which we're following Light, who one day stumbles onto this notebook, which ends up being Death Note. So in it you can write down a person's name, and in a certain amount of time they will die of the heart attack. But you can also write down the way and the time they die. And when Light starts basically to taking advantage of that and starts killing off major criminals in the world, but when law enforcement figures out that their worst criminals start dying off left and right, they start chasing him, but Light always managed to be one step ahead. And that's it for this video. If you like, please like, share, and subscribe. Down below you have my social media, my email, and some other stuff, and I'll see you next one.